Hey, Leorah. Who are you, Leorah?
Mama, what if I'm going to get...
Look at you, you're super people. You really are.
I'm just gonna see how I am in the mirror. Look at me,
Look
Mom.
at you, Mary. Tell me about your costume. What are you wearing?
Gloves and a cape.
Beautiful.
Leorah Wood.
I'm just gonna hold this here for a second, like a threat. No, I'm kidding, I'll put it down. Thank you guys for coming out on a Tuesday. This is incredible, thank you. I know why you're here. You're here looking for advice. I get that, but I do have to admit I am just like you. I also wake up every morning and I dump the drowned roaches out of my Keurig. I get it. You know, like I match the polka dots on my bow to the polka dots on my other bow, to the polka dots on my shoes, to the polka dots on my nails. Thank you for clapping. It was an impressive feat. So I get it if you're like, no, you know, I need to hear what she has to say. I need to know how to be cool like her. And I thought, here's how we can accomplish that, a PSA in the form of a ukulele song. You look worried and you should be. Keep clapping. Keep clapping. Oh, you follow directions so well. Let's do this. To all you Tumblr teens, all you sweet green beans and your sweet green beanies, manic pixie dream girls who see the world just a little bit differently. Any kid out there who's sing and share at your middle school talent show but needs a role model, here's what you need to know. Polka dots and ukulele, that's all that you need to be me. Only know 4 chords, they're CFA minor G, so I'm coasting by with excessive energy. La 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 la, la 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 la. I didn't write this part of the song. La 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 la, la 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 la. End of chorus. To all you little freaks trying to be chic in your blue eyeshadow, your teacher's your best friend, but then again, you're not sure that she knows. To anyone there may be running for class secretary and losing to the popular kids, this advice won't miss. Polka dots and ukulele, that's all that you need to be me. Something so easy to copy, ironic, my brand is being unique. La 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 la, la 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 la, even though I had more time. La 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 la, la 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 la, I couldn't think of a rhyming. Word. I'm trying so hard not to try hard enough. I've been buying so many vintage dresses I don't have space for in my apartment. My room is 7 by 10. Then again, that's not relevant. No more personal details, only ukulele, polka dots and ukulele, that's all that you need to be me. I'm not very good at ukulele, but you can't critique my playing if it's my identity. La 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 la, la 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 la, this song is over. La 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 la, la 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 la, I was lying the last time, but this time mean it. All right, now that we've gotten comfortable, I've serenaded you in an uncomfortable kind of way. I do feel that I can be honest with you guys. You know, I just sang this whole song of advice, but being totally candid, I'm still kind of working it out. I'm still figuring it out. You know, I just graduated college. Thank you. I do pause for applause there. I just graduated college, and now I'm kind of trying to find myself. You know, who am I, if not a joy to have in class? If you didn't laugh at that, I'm assuming it's because someone that looks exactly like me made your life a living hell in an honors English type setting. God, she was so excited about Lord of the Flies. I know what I look like. I do think if I were to be described by a male author in a young adult novel, he'd say cute, but in a way you could tell she was an ugly teen. No, don't feel bad. It's okay, because I was an ugly teen. My sophomore year of high school, I transferred schools, and I thought, new school, new me. I should get a pixie cut. Yeah. And for some reason around this time, all of my friends' moms started like pulling me aside and being like, Leorah, you're so brave. And I was like, thank you, I know. And they were like, when did you come out? And I was like, I have a boyfriend. It's okay though, actually, because a couple years later he came out, so it all works out in the end. Yeah, I would say that I kind of crushed high school. I'm not afraid to say it. I crushed it so hard that I did 5 years of it. Yeah, you guys know how high school goes: freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Which is so weird. It's so silly, because college only goes freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. No, I did. I repeated a year of high school, and I did it much for the same reason that they will hold back star athletes to kind of beef them up for a year before going pro. I was like, let me do one more year of high school trauma, then I can go pro as a stand-up comedian. But my high school days are long past me. I graduated college. I moved into my first real apartment. I thrifted all of my furniture. And let me tell you, owning secondhand furniture is all fun and games until your dad is trying to figure out why your dresser drawer is jammed. He's laughing about this already. He knows what's coming. And 3 pairs of lacy panties tumble out. And they're not yours. But you guys knew that. You knew just by looking at me that I don't own lacy panties. It would make more sense if I stood up here and told you that I wear Disney Princess Day of the Week underwear. Which I might. Tuesdays are Ariel. The only thing that I didn't thrift for my new apartment was my mattress. I bought a purple. Are we familiar with the YouTube ads? That's a win for capitalism, isn't it? I bought a purple. If you've seen the YouTube ads, then you know that they are pricey, but the saleswoman was pushy. I was the saleswoman. I'm an actress as well, easy to spot because I have the kind of demeanor of a human jazz hand. Ah! And for a while, I was going into auditions using the text of a purple mattress ad. So I'd say, and I'm so sorry, this is going to be 1 minute of acting, but then the other 59 will be stand-up, I promise. So I'd go into the auditions and I'd say, buy the purple mattress and get the kind of rest you've only dreamed of. And I totally booked. None of them. But the more that I heard myself say it, the more that I was like, I want the kind of rest I've only dreamed of. And so I bought my mattress, and I love it. And I went back to another audition recently. I got about halfway through my commercial, and the woman auditioning me stops, and she says, I have a question. Do you own a purple mattress? And I'm about to be like, hell yeah, best choice of my life. I love it. She stops me again, and she goes, that was a rhetorical question. I only asked because based on your performance, I did not believe that you own a purple mattress. So that night, instead of sending her an email thanking her for her time, I just forwarded her my receipt, like, believe me now? I'm getting the kind of rest I only dreamed of. I'm kidding, I didn't do that. Emails give me anxiety. I'm living in this new apartment. I live with 2 straight men now. It's fun. We have a real new girl situation on our hands. Make some noise for them, I guess. They're here. It's fun, you know, we teach each other things. We learn from each other. They teach me how to talk to boys on dating apps. I teach them how to deadbolt the door at night. Straight men in the audience, make some noise if you know where your deadbolt is. That's just my roommates, and they know because I taught them. I can't tell if the rest of you were silent because you don't know or because the kind of audience that I attract does not involve straight men. Either's fine. It is pretty important for us to lock the front door of our apartment because the front door of our building doesn't lock so good. You know how sometimes that happens? Oh, it's illegal? Noted. That means that sometimes we'll have unhoused visitors who spend the night in the stairwell, which is totally fine. I actually had a lovely conversation with one such gentleman recently. I was rushing on my way to work, and he said, "Excuse me, miss, do you have some change so I can buy a cup of coffee?" And I said, "No, I'm so sorry, I don't." And then he asked me a totally reasonable follow-up question. "Okay, are you a magician?" I don't know how he knew I wasn't even wearing my cape. And I own a cape. I did kind of meditate on it because it was so strange. And the more that I thought, the more that I was like, no, that question does make sense. He figured I did have change. It was just behind his ear. It's my birthday. Some of these are just for me. But that is my high school and college journey. I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about how I got into college. I had to write an essay for the common application. I had to choose a topic that impacted me greatly. And the topic has continued to impact me so much that I actually, I decided to write a song about it. You guys are learning these transitions take a minute, so we just have to keep the energy up throughout. Amazing. All right. My lizard's butt fell out. My lizard's butt fell out. It's not something I talk often about, but my lizard's butt fell out. 8th grade had it made lead in the school play. Yeah, I wasn't popular. What do you expect? I had a lizard. All day long going strong, came home to something wrong. My lizard friend's not moving. I find it so confusing. My lizard's butt fell out. My lizard's butt fell out. It was a butt tumor, malignant. Looked like he was reverse pregnant. Don't fret, said the vet. I will fix your pet. Stuffed his insides back inside. Said he'd live, but that vet lied. The next day, crying in class, history teacher says, they don't make a Hallmark card for that. As a reminder, I was an 8th grader, which is way too old for this behavior. Everyone, my lizard's butt fell out. My lizard's butt fell out. It's not something I talk often about, but my lizard's, oh, my lizard's butt fell out. So I have regular, normal hobbies and observations. I have recently discovered, actually, that if you take a black and white copy of my headshot and you put it in with one of those collages of the girls Ted Bundy killed, I blend right in. Now, you might think it's because of the round face and the middle part. You'd be wrong. It's actually because we all kind of share this look that shows we don't know what's coming next. You've heard of resting bitch face. This is resting confused face. It's resting, oh, gee, mister, your arm's broken? Well, sure, I'll help you get into your cream VW Beetle. Face. I'm edgy, though. Clap if you believe it. That's my dad. Which is perfect. I am edgy. I have a secret tattoo, which means that everyone knows about it, except that gentleman right there. I'm going to tell him. I want to tell him. I'm waiting for my wedding night when I legally become another man's property. He loves that joke. I do genuinely want to be married. I'm working to make that day a reality. You know, I get out, I get hit on. Not during the winter when I'm wearing pants. You can tell my ass is so flat it's actually concave. But during the summer, sundress season, that's my time to shine. I was crossing the street this summer, illegally, and this guy is driving by me and he shouts out, "Hey, sundress!" And I'm like, oh my God, here we go. And then he says, learn how to walk, bitch. But that's okay. I'm doing well in dating. My prospects are good. I'm dating. I was dating. I got dumped. I have never heard a room full of 50 people collectively on. And I hope I never do again. No, it's okay, because I'm going to tell funny jokes about it. Yeah, okay. Yay! Yeah, so I got dumped. I got dumped because there was no spark. And I get it. I don't ooze sexuality. I just ooze. Like, I know that I have the sexual prowess of a Victorian boy child in one of those infant dresses. Like, I can put both my legs behind my head. That's sexy, right? Not the way I do it. Not the way I do it. The way I do it, I look like a boiled chicken that someone has dropped on the ground, just kind of rolling back and forth. And I can only do it in the first place due to a family history of weak joints that will lead to a double hip replacement in my mid to late 50s. Something to look forward to. Sharp right turn. I've never been a big fan of dentists. Hot take, I know, hot take. Let's hear it for not liking dentists. They're just people doing their jobs. The hotter take, though, I would say, dentists have never been a fan of me. It's because I've thrown up on a lot of dentists. The last time I was getting my teeth cleaned, I snuck a peek at my open file, and across the top in bright red letters was written, Gagger! Good thing I turned out asexual. I am asexual. It was Pride back in July, and I don't want to make any broad sweeping statements, but I will say that being asexual during Pride is the silliest one to be. All of the other sexualities get their own color of the rainbow. Do you know what color they gave asexual people? 1, 2, 3. They were really like, no sexuality, no color. If Pride is the rainbow, then you can be the little storm cloud. Because we're all having a fun and sexy time and you're in the way. Don't rain on the parade. I am asexual. I do think I'm kind of biologically predisposed to be, if it's possible, because I can do this. Which means I can zip up my own dress and I don't need a man. I'm also tongue-tied, which is a real biological condition where I cannot stick my tongue out of my mouth. That's as far as it goes. So I would have been an awful lesbian. Coming out as asexual to potential partners is weird and hard, but somehow coming out as tongue-tied is so much worse. So what I do instead of coming out at all is I'll just drop the word buddy into conversation with copious abandon. And people seem to get the hint. Right, buddies? I've been thinking a lot about queer representation in reality TV. It sounds like a dissertation. Really what it is just a minute-long bit that I'm going to do for you right now. Thank you. I needed that. No, so I've been thinking about it because a lot of reality TV shows have been doing queer seasons with queer casts. You know, The Ultimatum, Are You the One, Love Island. I've been thinking there's a show that I would love to see done with an asexual cast. The show that I want, Too Hot to Handle. Are we familiar? For those of you who aren't, but it seems like this room is, basically they put a lot of horny people alone together on a beach, and they lose money from a prize fund every time they fuck. An asexual cast would kill that. I do think that I personally would kind of crush the regular Too Hot to Handle as well, just because I'm such a wet blanket. Everyone would go home with money. This is my impression of me on Too Hot to Handle. So a guy would kind of approach, he'd be muscly and oily. And he'd be like, hey, sexy, you want to help me put some sexy sunscreen on my sexy back? Sexy? And I'd be like, oh, hell yeah, I know a lot about sunscreen. I'm so pale that I use a mineral sunscreen as a full coverage foundation. I think it's because I had jaundice as a child, the childhood disease where your skin turns yellow, and I used up all my pigment then, and now I have none left. The other day, my little brother saw a picture of me, and he said, why does she look like a boiled chicken? That's not a callback to the earlier bit. I am just oft compared to a boiled chicken. Sexy. I do like to do my part, though, in supporting my fellow members of the LGBTQIA+ community. I mostly did my part in high school by dating exclusively gay men. If you thought the haircut boyfriend was an isolated incident, you thought wrong. No, it was a good deal, because no one wanted to kiss. Everyone knew all of the lyrics to the Mamma Mia soundtrack. Here we go again. My lovely mother does maintain to this day, though, that these gentlemen were straight for me specifically. Not because she's homophobic. No, just because I've trained her to see no wrong in me. I've tried to tell her, though, Mom, I think they were all the way gay. They were just very good actors. That's what I get for trolling the drama department for boyfriends. I think no story better encapsulates my experience as an asexual woman dating gay men than the story of my second kiss. So my first kiss was on stage, duh. But my second kiss was with a boy from theater camp. Yeah, we've all kissed a boy in theater camp, haven't we? So we were on the kind of middle school approximation of a date. You sit in a park and you wait for someone's mom to come. And it's quiet, and there's that kind of anticipatory silence, and then I hear, sha-la-la-la-la-la, my, oh my, look like the boy too shy, ain't gonna kiss a girl. Oh no. To this day, I don't know if that was a serenade for me or more of a kind of private hype-up moment for him. But either way, I, in all of my middle school asexual glory, looked him up and down and said, "You gonna do it, bud?" And so he leans in and he misses. And so I, in all of my 7th grade asexual glory, go, "You want to try again, bud?" To this day, it was the most romantic evening of my life. I don't know, though. Tonight could top it. Find me after the show if you want nothing to happen. All of this is to say, I'm maybe a little bit of an acquired taste, dating-wise. I can acknowledge that. Don't look sad. I can acknowledge it. And nothing actually better illustrated that for me than listening to a lot of country music. Follow me on this one. Yeah, no, it's going to make sense in a minute. So there was a summer where I worked slicing meat at a New York-style deli in New Hampshire. And the deli played only country music. And now all of those things together just sounds like a Mad Libs of sadness. A Sad Libs. When they were playing country music kind of day in and day out, and as I stood there listening as I sliced my salami, I noticed a sort of mythological creature begin to emerge. That of the cool country girl. She doesn't like makeup or fancy clothes. No, she likes other things like cows and babies. She's the kind of girl that can get away wearing like mud-stained jeans, her boyfriend's flannel, and just the grossest hat you've ever seen. And look better than any of the rest of us. And listening to these lyrics, I kind of started to think, where's my song? So I wrote it. It's not a country song, though. That feels cruel to do to you guys. It's a ukulele power ballad. So. I don't want to wear your old shirt because I have my own shirt and mine actually fits me. I get it's a thing, but all I'm saying, ketchup stains aren't sexy. Yes, I did just wake up. Now it's time for makeup. I have never once in my adult life woken up, rolled out of bed, and thought, wow, what a good and socially acceptable look for me. Hi, maintenance girlfriend. How country genre won't write lyrics about me. I've been upfront and honest since this thing began that I won't drink beer. Where's my vodka cran? Oh, hi, maintenance girlfriends. Here's to us. I know you're thinking to use your grandmother's ring, and I don't mean to be pesky, but being candid with you, dear, you better go with the one I have saved on Etsy. Also, I don't want children. Please don't give me children. So I guess this verse is about things I don't want, and it's your grandmother's ring, and also children. Before we hit the next chorus hard, I wanted to do one of those spoken, broken down bridges where I just speak from the heart. And what I wanted to speak from the heart today was about why your Christian mom will hate me. All Christian moms hate me. It's because I'm Trojan horsing as one of them, but oh, does the facade crumble when I accidentally say the word fuck in the back of their minivans? Chorus! Hi, maintenance girlfriends. I don't mean to sulk, but how does setting expectations make me difficult? These are reasonable things for a partner to ask, but a trope has been constructed to make me look like an ass. Fuck, I just said ass in front of your mom. I knew our shared Pinterest board wouldn't bond us for long. I once went on a date with a guy who was 29, and let me tell you, there is a big difference between being in your late 20s and your early 20s. We were trying to find common ground on the date, and we realized that we'd both been to a lot of weddings that spring. He had been to a lot of weddings because his friends were getting married. I had been to a lot of weddings because I was catering them. So what has happened in this part of the show is we've actually stumbled our way into a whole catering story. Buckle in. Okay, so the thing about catering that they don't tell you, for those of you with an expendable income past the age of 26, don't brag, is that you don't have any information in advance. All that you have is a time and a location. So on the night in question, imagine my surprise when I show up to the penthouse suites of a luxury apartment building in Chelsea, and there is a full basketball court on the dance floor. I know. There's this giant light-up neon arch. It's covered with basketballs. A woman approaches me. She says, "I'm with the press." And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm catering an NBA event. So I go to the back room where they're keeping the other stand-up comics. I'm sorry, caterers. Caterers. If you are over the age of 26 with an expendable income, you're looking to hire a stand-up comic for your next event, check a catering company's roster. It's where we're hiding. I say, guys, can you believe it? We're catering an NBA event. They say, no, this is a bar mitzvah. The theme was nothing but bread. I should have known too, because as soon as you started looking, the kid's face was everywhere. The event had merch. They had T-shirts with his face on it. They had foam fingers with his face on it. They had a customized sports drink with his face on it. And that's when I realized Brett had nothing to do with the planning of this event. No 13-year-old wants a giant blown-up picture of their face, you know, to the scale where you can see all the pores, put on a stick and given to all 300 of their closest acquaintances. 13-year-olds don't want to make eye contact. I mean, this event was really amazing. They had everything. They had past hors d'oeuvres, make your own sushi station, a concession stand. That's just the snacks, but that's where my priorities lie. They had an NBA Hall of Famer come to wish this kid a happy 13th. And I started to think to myself, this event costs more than any wedding I've ever been to in my life. This event costs more than my life. And I do apologize if I sound, you know, ignorant or naive at all. I'd never attended a bar mitzvah before. This was my first. Not because I didn't have any Jewish friends growing up, because I didn't have any friends. Feels like an important distinction to make. I have a Hebrew name, and so people often assume that I am Jewish, but no, my mother is the youngest of 7 in a way that is uniquely Roman Catholic. Roman Catholics make some noise. You got so many uncles and aunts. No, it doesn't stop people from assuming that I am Jewish, though. Like in 7th grade when I won the English award, I told you I was a terror in English class. my English teacher at the time introduced me to the crowd saying, and I quote, "To our own little Anne Frank." Poll of the crowd, is that better or worse if she knew I was not Jewish? Anyone? So that's gonna be a trick question. It's very bad either way, and you shouldn't say it to a child. But back to the story at hand. Did you guys know that party music stopped progressing past the early 2010s? You're nodding like you knew. I didn't. I mean, party music has existed for decades. Think of the 70s and the 80s. Some of you were alive then. I wasn't. But surely it can exist again, and that's not true. It starts and it ends with Tayo Cruz lighting it up like it's dynamite. Yeah, I was expecting these children to be doing TikTok dances on half court. You know what they were dancing to instead? Nicki Minaj's Starships. And I must admit, like, hearing these songs, it did give me kind of flashbacks to my own middle school dances when the songs were first coming out. I thought of my middle school formal. I met a boy. We locked eyes across the room. He was someone else's pity date slash cousin. We exchanged Snapchats. We spoke frequently, but never met up again in person because he couldn't drive. On one particularly romantic evening, he did ask me, "Do seatbelts hurt girls because boobs?" Anytime I do that joke in a room with too many straight men, someone always heckles me, "Do they?" It's a weird question to hang on to. I didn't expect you guys to, though. You already passed the deadbolt test, so we're in the clear. But remember all of the snacks that I listed? They had the hors d'oeuvres and the make your own sushi station and the concession stand. So there was a lot of snacking going on, and people had extra time to snack because the NBA Hall of Famer was running late. And you all know that classic party rule: no one eats until a 70-year-old legend dunks on a child, God damn it. And then on top of all of those snacks, actually, they had these women dressed up like sexy disco balls. It does sound like an oxymoron, but with the curves in the right places, I promise you it is possible. I've seen it. They're rollerblading around. They're passing out Joe's Pizza. And I'm thinking to myself, my most eventful birthday was the year that my former military parents took me and the neighborhood kids, notice I didn't say friends, to laser tag so they could go all Mr. and Mrs. Smith on us. That's right, my mom is a Marine, my dad was in the Navy. Hoorah! I am a disappointment. But they had so much food and there was so much left over, and that meant that at the very end of the night, as we were packing up, on the staff food table, you guys, there was a bowl of loose steaks. Now, the rest of the catering staff was too polite to touch these loose steaks because we'd already packed up all of the forks and utensils. Forks are utensils. You know what I mean. Whatever it was, we'd packed it up. And so no one else was touching it. Meanwhile, I'd been on my feet for 7 hours, and so I'm grabbing that loose steak. I'm hunched over a trash can, going feral like one of those kids they found in the attic in the 70s. Now, behind me, I hear a couple of other cater waiters. They're having a meet cute. It's very sweet. They realize they live off the same subway stop. They enjoy each other's company. They're going to get coffee in the morning. Meanwhile, I'm back over my trash can. I'm having a meat tooth. That's going to be when you eat room temp steak too quick and it congeals in your molars. All of this to say, that's a pretty common experience for me. You know, someone else is finding love, I'm finding a snack. I don't mean that in like the modern colloquial way either of like, oh, someone who's cute is a snack. No, I mean, I found the bag of chips you were saving for later. I'm eating them now. And so I wrote a song about that. Now, this one before I play it, I do have to preface a little bit, because sometimes when I play this song, people get sad for me. So, if you must know, I'm in regular therapy. I have a very healthy self-image. Here's the song. It's called Least Interesting Girl at the Party. It's Saturday night, just got the invite to the house party of a college acquaintance. Gonna show up there without a care. Wanna meet everyone, but your first mistake is talking to the least interesting girl at the party. She's wearing a bright outfit to find a mate like some sort of tropical bird. Least interesting girl at the party. Uh-oh, she's a misfit. The outfit was a trap just like with birds. Wanna party and jam, that's the only plan. At the house party of a college acquaintance, couldn't meet abroad, really hit it off. But a stop at the snack table proves a hindrance. You find original flavor chips and the least interesting girl at the party. Both are equally bland, but only one of the two will get you lace. It's not the least interesting girl at the party. With her, there's no one night stand. The chip brand was what I meant when I said lace. Try to make moves away, but she's making you stay at the snack table of a college acquaintance, eating fistfuls of chips. She just keeps eating chips. And you're still stuck in this conversation with the least interesting girl at the party. She doesn't like to travel, but she will show you a pic of her parents' dog. Least interesting girl at the party. She thinks travel's a hassle, and she's acting like you've never seen a dog. Bonus points if she's texting her mom. Bonus points if she's texting her mom. Bonus points if she's dead sober. Texting her mom. Bonus points if she's dead sober. Texting her mom to send her more photos of the dog that you already looked at, so you can look at it again, but this time it's wearing a hat. Talking to the least interesting girl at the party. She's the nice one of the friend group. Her friends get to be mean because they're hot. Not the least interesting girl at the party. She's also mean, don't be duped, but she's not hot enough to be mean out loud. Oh, least interesting girl at the party. Making her friends go home 'cause she's tired, taking away the one that you admired, wishing this evening had never transpired. That dismount's getting smoother, isn't it? So speaking of uninteresting, I do work a day job. Tepid applause for day jobs. I work at a preschool. They say dress for the job that you want, so I guess I manifested this. It's funny, I did not know that I wanted that job. But I've been dressing like this, and I mean this, since I was in preschool. I've thought about it though, and it is more in line with my career goals than I had initially thought. Princess Di's first job was also at a preschool. Look at how well things turned out for her. The fun thing about that joke is it's not actually too soon. I work at a preschool, and I was putting together the yearbook at the end of the year, and I don't want to enforce gender roles here, but it did teach me the difference between moms and dads putting together the yearbooks, because the parents could submit pages, and the moms that submitted pages to the yearbook, they also sent me color schemes, they sent me mock-ups. The dads, I'm sorry, Dad, there was just one. Don't feel bad for him, he had initiative. who submitted pages to the yearbook, let's see, misspelled all 3 of his child's teachers' names and sent me a photo of the wrong kid. It's crazy to think these kids are born in 2020, and that's the old ones. I know. So they are being raised by full-blown millennials, which means that teaching them how to spell their own names is such a nightmare. These kids will be like, well, an hour ago you taught me that Y makes the Y sound, so why is my name Kaylee spelled Keliegh? They'll never be kindergarten ready. I do have some kind of preschool rules for the road. Rule number 1 of preschool, never trust a well-dressed child. Because if the parents care about the outside that much, that means that these parents are caring about the inside too. These are the children that are doing manifestations in the mirror in the morning. I thought that was just online, but it's happening in your neighborhoods. I had this girl come up to me during choice time, and she says, these other 2 girls are being mean to me. Do they even know that I'm kind, creative, and courageous? I'm like, do you know you're courageous? She's 4, define that word for me. So we go to the other girls that are giving her a hard time, to do my due diligence. And I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? She said you were messing with her. And they go, she was being mean to us and we told her to stop. And she goes, and that hurt my feelings. Courageous. It's a private school. You might have surmised what with the well-dressed children and the Kayleys. But I did want to make that explicitly clear before this next part. As a special treat at the end of the year, we took the children on a field trip to the subway. Not on the subway. To the subway. One of the other teachers was swiping them all in so they could learn about the turnstile, and I'm looking thinking, that better be an unlimited. It's not worth the $2.75 a head. These kids are never going to use that information again. And then we wanted to teach them how the maps work. And so each of the teachers took turns tracing out our hour-plus commutes home. To be an educator. I know that nothing that I have said would make you believe this, but I am good at my job. Thank you for believing that at face value. I have figured out a way to get the kids to sit down, shut up, and eat their lunches. Here's what I do. We play drinking games. I replace take a shot with take a quiet bite of sandwich. So it'll be like, never have I ever peed my pants during show and tell. Oh, take a bite, Sarah! Or we'll do Thunderstruck, if you guys know that one, but instead of... If you can remember playing Thunderstruck, did you really play? But we replaced the AC/DC classic with Baby Shark. And they have to eat continuously throughout the doo-doo-doo-doos. So it'll be like, and you guys can clap, it makes it fun. Take a bite, do-do-do-do-do, of your lunch, do-do-do-do-do, not of your fun, do-do-do. Stop clapping. That is not a gentle body. I'm gonna need you to step away and go to the cozy corner. Speaking of doo-doo-doo-doos, a real part of my job is bathroom duty. That is both the transition and a real part of my job. Neither are getting better. How to describe bathroom duty? It is where I supervise the children while they try their best. It normally goes out without a hitch, but my most eventful instance of bathroom duty, I had this little boy come in. He takes off his full pants and underwear, and then he squats feet to the seat, and then he kind of starts to shake uncontrollably like a child possessed. And then he yells out, "My poop is here!" And after all of this, he does not poop. I was okay with it. I would take an exorcism over a shit any day. It's much less cleanup. I can't blame these kids, though, for being little weirdos, because I was a weird kid myself. What? No, you seem normal. Oh my God, who said that? No, I was a weird kid. I was a horse girl. This is my target audience. I was a horse girl, and because I'm a weird adult, I wrote a song about being a horse girl. Giddy up. Well, I've got a tale for you that's spelled T-A-I-L. About a preppy little girl, her hair stringy, her face pale. So listen if you feel compelled and hear this tale unfurl. That's tale spelled T-A-I-L, the tale of a horse girl. In 7th grade math class, they ran out of math to teach. So the teacher said, screw it all, we're learning chess this week. Why did they teach us chess in math class? Did other schools do that too? It's not relevant to the story, but raise your hand if they taught chess to you in math class. 1, 2, no one else? Now back to our story. The students played chess diligently, except for one girl trading game pieces for her opponent's victory. She only wanted their knights, but she'd pocket after every game. A tiny all-night army became her claim to fame. The knights are the horses! If you don't know about chess, now that that's all cleared up, let's move to the chorus. I used to be a horse girl. I claim that I've grown out of it. I used to be a horse girl, but I'm still blasting Taylor Swift. Put your bet here. And if this old gal's blue ribbon right, I just can't hide it anymore. And if I'm being Lisa Frank, I used to be a horse girl. Now at the barn where she rode horses, the girl had herself a favorite steed. You need to know for context, the barn held a party on Hallows Eve, and walks another little girl, and she's dressed up like a bride. The barn then performs a mock wedding ceremony, a fake wedding, marrying the other little girl to my favorite horse to ride. The problem wasn't marriage cross species or that the bride was underage. The problem was the jealousy sent me into a burning rage. I used to be a horse girl. I claim that I've grown out of it. I used to be a horse girl, but I'm still blasting Taylor Swift. Place your bets, yeah or no. If this girl's blue ribbon ranked, I just can't hide it anymore. And if I'm being Alicia Frank, I used to be a horse girl. Now, you've heard a tale here tonight that's spelled H-E-R-D. Please don't tell anyone. You'd really embarrass me. Thanks for listening. That's the song. You've heard this tale unfurl. That's tale spelled T-A-I-L, the tale of a horse girl. You guys have been fantastic, amazing, incredible, beautiful. And the evening is wrapping up, but I wanted to leave you with one last story, if that's okay. I'm so glad, and I will let you in on a secret. I was going to do it either way. Okay, so the story that I wanted to leave you guys with is the story of a night that I had this past winter. And like most nights, it started with a morning. And on the morning in question, I decided my day was not going to end. I was not going to go to bed until I kissed a boy. And that is when our morning turned into an afternoon. You guys are like, okay, this bit is done. Yeah, so the morning turns into an afternoon, and that is where our journey begins with Eric, who I did not kiss. So a kind of a pull of the crowd. Do we tend to find an Eric with a C more trustworthy and capable of love, or an Eric with a K? With a C. So this was an Eric with a K. Yeah, we'd met up on Bumble. We'd arranged for a coffee date. Speaking of incapable of love, he was the proud owner of a crusty white dog. No, I know. That was the only kind of fun fact that I had about him from his profile. So I wasn't surprised at all when he stood me up for coffee. No. I think it was because he had to attend the funeral of whatever elderly family matriarch died and willed him that dog. It is not a young person's pet. And I wasn't too upset about it either because I was also talking on Bumble to this guy named Andrew. And you guys know how on dating apps you can either try and reel people in with your personality, like a fun fact or two, or you can have abs. Andrew had abs. This is where you learn that Eric with a K did not have abs because his profile had the fun fact about the dog. Now, Andrew, who I did not kiss, I was determined to get to know him better, see behind his abs to his heart, which anatomically speaking would be far too low in his chest if it was actually directly behind the abs. So I shoot him a message and I say, hey, Andrew, hit me with a fun fact. And he says, haha, what are you doing right now? And I said, waiting to hear your fun fact, Andrew. And so he says, okay, my fun fact is that I have shaken hands with Louis C.K. before. So I guess I have a thing for red-headed comedians. Now what are you doing? And I said, waiting for you to ask me my fun fact, Andrew. Now, the thing about boys with abs is they are not used to people being mean to them. Claps for bullying the beautiful. So when I did this, something started happening, and when you're mean to those boys, they will kind of become obsessed with you, I noticed, and it's not, I'm sorry, I'm just like, I'm really distracted right now, you guys, because first of all, there's that fly that's been going around. But then also more than that, do you guys hear a phone ringing? Am I losing it? You know what? Okay, I actually think it's me backstage. Andrew calls me every hour on the hour. God. But I decide that's not gonna be it. That's not my night. So I call up my friend Julia, who I did not kiss. I call up my friend Ben, who I did not kiss. And I say, we're going out tonight. I'm not going to bed until I kiss a boy. And they say, what about Andrew? And I say, what about Andrew? So I'm getting ready for my big night on the town, and so it's those stretch of days this past winter where it was really, really cold. And so I am wearing a wool skirt and a cute blouse, and then I'm like, okay, it's cold. So I put on a pair of leggings, and then another pair of leggings, and then a nude turtleneck underneath my blouse. And the end result is something akin to a child trick-or-treating in suburban New Hampshire. Just going door to door like, ding dong, oh, sweetie, what are you dressed as? Well, I wanted to be a slut in a wool skirt. But mom said it was 35 degrees out. So we get to our first bar of the night. That's a hint. There'll be more. Around midnight, and it is empty. Why is it empty? Because it smells bad. Why does it smell bad? Not the perfume that I ordered for myself. Packages in my building get stolen at an alarming rate. This is why we lock our doors. And it never arrived. No, the bar is empty because it smells bad. It smells bad because not 5 minutes prior to our arrival, a girl has lit her own hair on fire. So immediately upon learning this news, I decide, me and my friends, we should treat our losses like patches of singed hair and just cut them. It's my birthday. So I decide it's time for us to leave the bar that we've strategically chosen because it's close to home in South Brooklyn, and we should go up into Manhattan. And if you're saying who would go along with that, I was kind of the leader of the pack because I was sober, my friends were not. I was a lightweight prior to the pandemic, and then I spent 2 years living in my childhood home where I stopped drinking altogether because I have a healthy relationship with alcohol and a healthier relationship with my parents. Is it a punchline or just bragging? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. We'll see if my relationship is still healthy. Dad just found out about the tattoo. So my tolerance is something like Eric with a K, weak. My friend's tolerance is more along the lines of Andrew, strong. And so we head into Manhattan on our next bar, and on the train on the way there, I get a text from Andrew, and he says, come to my rooftop. He says, bring your friends. I ignore him because he still has not asked for my fun fact. Do you guys actually, would you guys do me of the honor of asking to hear my fun fact? So the thing about my fun fact is I actually did 5 minutes of material on it earlier in the show. My fun fact is that I'm asexual. Do we feel like Andrew would have been into that, or no? Some of us do like to kiss, though, and I'm that kind. There will be a kiss. So we get to our second bar of the night around like 1:32, and this is where we meet Ethan, who I did not kiss. It's gonna keep happening until it happens. Now, Ethan immediately finds out that I'm a stand-up comic, and he asks me if I will write a joke about him and tell it on stage. And I say, I only write jokes about people who annoy me, so now here we are. And we're talking, and unlike me, Ethan leads with his best material. Polka dots and ukulele, what was I thinking? I didn't strum it that good either, because I was nervous. No, Ethan's best material is that he's been traveling. That's how he says it. He's been traveling. And the way he says it, I'm tempted to ask, where have you been traveling, Ethan? Up your own ass? But no, he tells me he's been traveling to 50 states and just as many countries. It's a bummer. That's exactly how he says it. 50 states and just as many countries. Now, you might ask yourself, wouldn't it make more sense and be less words to say 50 states and 50 countries? Yes. Yes, actually, it would. So Ethan is telling me why New York is boring compared to 50 states and just as many countries. And I am feeling bored in that moment, but it's not New York's fault. I'm feeling so bored, in fact, that I'm considering pulling the fire alarm like they do in those 90s after-school specials to get out of class. But then I remember firefighters are a finite resource, and somewhere in Brooklyn, there's a girl whose hair might still be aflame. We take it as our sign to leave, so I collect my now drunk friends. We're on a mission. We are gonna go to 3 bars and take just as many trains. Not 3 bars and 3 trains. 3 bars and just as many trains. So we're headed to our final bar. We're walking through Andrew's neighborhood. I know this because he has texted me his exact address. Men, do you really have no concern for your personal safety? At least you're self-aware. I mean, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I could be a murderer, or worse, I could dox him at a comedy show. I couldn't do that. I couldn't be that mean to him, otherwise he might propose marriage. So we get to our final bar of the evening. It's somewhere around 3 in the morning. It's home to some of the best music, 80s pop hits, and some of the worst people. The entire East Village population under the age of 30. It is the only place where you can dance to Don't You Forget About Me in a room full of people you can only pray you will forget about. It's called Beauty Bar. Raise your hand if you've been there so I can make... The rest of that sentence was so I can make eye contact and apologize, but let's see those hands. I'm sorry. There's too many of you. It's... Oh, God. So we go to Beauty Bar, and this is where we meet Eamon, E-A-M-O-N. If you'll remember, that is our 3rd E-name in a row. Bingo. We found the boy who I will kiss. I like how I told you guys that from the beginning, but you're still psyched. So Eamon kind of approaches our group of friends, and we're all dancing. He starts dancing with us. He says something to my friend Julia, and I say, what did you say to her? And he said, I told her that you're a very attractive young lady. And now, if you're wondering, if you're thinking to yourself, is that the correct compliment to pay to a girl in the club in a wool skirt? Yes. Works like a charm. And you know how they say, like, opposites attract? Like, she's short, he's tall, she's mean, he's nice, she's dead sober because alcohol hurts her tummy. And he's so drunk that if he were a shark, he'd be a hammered head. It's my birthday. Anyways, we're all dancing. At one point, we lose Eamon. Julia finds him at the bar ordering a drink for me. Let's play a game. What do we think my drink of choice is? I'll give you a hint. I dropped it in a song like 45 minutes ago, like Taylor Swift. So that was unanimous. And that's not how you pronounce that word. Anyway. Yes, my drink of choice is a vodka cran because I know who I am and I'm okay with it. I've accepted the basicness into my heart. Now, second follow-up game. What do we think he's ordering for me? Don't say it if you know. Whiskey sour. Beer, whiskey sour. No, I need you guys to get more creatively worse. I don't know what that is. You took instruction well, though. You did get creative. No, he's ordering 2 shots of well whiskey. So Julia sees this and she intercepts as Eamon appears to be both trashed and broke, so neither his wallet nor his body can really handle a shot of well whiskey. In the spirit of generosity, Julia takes one of the shots back, hands the other one to my friend Ben, who in a drunken stupor considers the shot. Says, "I don't want this." Goes dead in the eyes, shoots it back. It's kind of how I feel anytime Andrew calls, like, ring, ring, I don't want this, hello. But Eamon's kind of corralled back to the group, and we're dancing. He has somehow managed to acquire a beer in the mix. We're not sure where he got it. And he's holding it, and he's trying to spin me. And so every time he tries to spin me, a little trickle of beer runs down my face like a German christening. That's not a real thing. It's something I made up for the joke. Ask 50 State Ethan. He's been to Germany. So we're dancing. Dancing turns to kissing, but you guys already knew that part. My friends are in the corner, actively cheering. Andrew is somewhere in the East Village, alone on his roof. Eamon looks at me and he says, "Your friends are cool, but I'm going to fuck you later." Now I'm confused. For 2 reasons. Number 1, those are not mutually exclusive statements. The coolness of my friends actually has nothing to do with the second part of that sentence. And also I'm confused, because no, we're not. It's 3:30 in the morning. I'm dressed for winter. I'm wearing so many layers. It would be daybreak before I can so much as expose a tit. And also my fun fact is that I'm asexual. Now at this point, I notice that I've lost Julia, so I go and track her down because I'm not about to be ghosted twice in one night. You guys remember Eric with a K? It's a very long story. And when I come back from finding Julia, Eamon looks at me and he says, "I just wish I'd known sooner." And I go, "Well, here's the thing. What you did was the sexual equivalent of going to order me a drink, both assuming that I would want a drink, and if I wanted a drink, the drink that I would want would be a shot of well whiskey." Oh, wait, you did do. You did do that. And then he looks at me like a kicked puppy, like a crusty white dog mourning the death of its owner. And he goes, "I just really wanted you." And then he sulks off into the night, never to be seen again. It's a little bit of a weird note to end on, because I realize that he's left, and that's probably my cue to go, so I collect my now very drunk friends. It's time for them to go home before anyone that's consumed a shot of well whiskey makes a whiskey sour in the bar bathroom. It's kind of like a bittersweet note, but I do want to remind you guys, I accomplished my goal. I kissed a boy. Thank you. Thank you. And I think we should frame it like this. Here is the moral of the story. It is better to leave the bar at 4 a.m. with beer in your hair than to leave the bar at midnight because your hair is on fire. Thank you all so much. I've been Leorah Wood.
Okay, take a bow. Take the bow, Leorah. Tell you about your costume. What are you wearing?